Hey, good evening everybody. My name's John. Welcome to another edition of the Zone 1 Beer Club. Tonight we're going to be looking at a very special lager beer that I've had a few requests to look at and do an examination on. So I'm going to try to catch those up with the people that's been wanting to watch them. We're going to be looking at a very special lager beer. Not only a lager beer, but one that has won numerous medals, not only the Great American Beer Festival, but other beer festivals. Not only medals, but gold medals, silver medals, bronze medals. This is a beer that's been out since 1964. It's been bought out by numerous companies over the years, and picked up in 1999 by a brewery that's had it ever since, and I don't believe they're going to get rid of it. But what we're looking at tonight is you guessed it. You hear that ding, you know what I'm talking about. Old English, high gravity, 800, coming in at 8.0% alcohol by volume. Let's take a little pour on it, crack her open, see what we got. Look at the carbonation on that. Look at the color on that. It looks like a tremendous lager. We'll talk about this a little bit. Yes, it's now owned by S.A.B. Miller since 1999 when they bought it out from Pabst Brewing Company. The high gravity was first introduced in 2001. It took the place of the Old English Ice, which was 7.9% alcohol by volume. So, without further ado, let's give this a smell test. You know, I think what you're getting out of it, I mean, you're getting those corns in it, you're getting the grains in it, and you know, you're going to get that typical high gravity malt liquor smell out of it that you're going to get in a high gravity, high volume lager. You get the same taste out of it. You know, you get that corny taste, and you get the grains, you get the adjuncts in it. But it's kind of got a sweet taste to it as it rolls down the back of your palate. It doesn't have an off flavor taste to me. I've had the regular Old English a few times. I prefer the regular Old English over the 800 high gravity, just because I think it's more of a balanced type beer it's not as high in volume as alcohol as this. Although I do think this is tremendous beer. Don't take me wrong. I enjoy this. I don't enjoy it all the time, but when I'm down in Louisville, I'll definitely pick up 2 or 3, because for a price point you're looking at, I think it's $1.79 for a 24-ounce can. So that's a tremendous purchase. It's like I've said over my last few malt liquor videos I did. I've done a St. Ides and a Colt 45, and now I'm doing this Old English HG high gravity 800. I mean, there's not a bad malt liquor out there. There's some malt liquors that's better than others. Like I said, I prefer the regular Old English over this. For a point-to-point with me, if I was going to I had to drink a malt liquor every day, I prefer the St. Ides. There's only one place that in Louisville that I can find that, and I don't make it over there very often. I'm down there where I can get these more often. But no, I mean, the malt liquor to me is, over the last few years is really starting to make a comeback. Used to, there wasn't a whole lot of malt liquors around. What malt liquors was back in the 80s and say early 90s kind of died out a little bit, and it seems like since since about 2000, let's say 13, 14 around here, you're starting to see the malt liquors that was in the back corner in the coolers or in the back corner on the shelves. I mean, you never really see them unless you was looking for them. Are now starting to be more in the forefront. You're starting to see a lot more of them in your convenience stores. And grocery stores and your Walmarts and your Myers type stores. And now you're starting to really see a lot more of them pushed to the forefront in the package stores too, and I'm really excited about that, because I mean, I like a good traditional old style malt liquor. I mean, it's not a everyday sit down drink that I'm going to have, but you know, once a week, maybe twice a week, I like to sit down with an old Colt 45 or an Old English or one of those malt liquors, just because I like that throwback taste to it. I like the throwback, to think that, you know, I was drinking something now that I was drinking back in the 80s. I mean, I seen a person post on a malt liquor group today that you know, I can remember malt liquor back in the 90s. And I replied to him. I said, you know, I remember malt liquor back in the 80s, and there wasn't a whole lot of it around. You know, we had Mickey's, and you know, I think you could get regular Old E and Schlitz malt liquor bull, which we can't get around here anymore. But now we're starting to, you know, the Colt 45. But now you're starting to see a lot more of the Old English over in Louisville. The Colt 45 high gravity over in Louisville. The St. Ides, I've only seen it one place, and but you're starting to see a lot more of the high gravities around here. Your Steel Reserves, your Hurricanes. You're starting to see a lot more of it, and I'm pretty excited. But I think that the growth and development right now of the people that I see on Facebook and Instagram, and you know, you're starting to see that the malt liquor community starting to really grow, and you know, from an old guy that like me that you know, first drank malt liquor back in the mid '80s, you know, to see it kind of die out, and now it's starting to make that reinforcement back in to what it is. I mean, that's pretty exciting, because I like to see that. I don't want to see a beer die out. I want to, you know, I mean, the regrowth of it right now is just phenomenal. This is definitely not a beer that you want to drink semi-hot. I mean, I actually had this in my refrigerator for a while. I've not really had a whole lot of time to jump on over the last few weeks and do it, but I saved it because I've had some people want me to do some Old E examinations. So, because I don't really look at this as what I do as beer reviews. I mean, I'm kind of a throw from the hip type of guy. I mean, I do a little research on it, just, you know, just for a point to point on it. But I mean, I want to throw from the hip, because that's what I like to do. I don't want to sit down and take notes off of any website or anything, because I mean, I'm not a big guy on Rate Beer, Beer Advocate. I'm just not a fan of that. I think that's people throwing out reviews just to throw the people off that's never tried it. So, but and I've always been an advocate. I mean, don't look at Rate Beer, don't look at Beer Advocate if you're a newcomer to not only craft beer, but to beer in general, or malt liquor in general, because I think you need to get on YouTube and look at a few of the reviewers and a few of the chuggers and a few of the people that really have a respect for what malt liquor is. And I think you're going to really enjoy it. So, excuse me. But if you're a newcomer to the malt liquor community, I hope you watched my my video, and I hope it kind of helped you out a little bit. I've made some videos here lately where some people have really been appreciative how, you know, they didn't know that beer existed, and they was really appreciated because they went and got those particular beers and tried them out. And it kind of makes me feel good, because I try to throw beers out there that I don't think a lot of people's drinking. A lot of people's going to try them, but I'm not a craft beer guy. I'm not a malt liquor guy. I'm not a macro beer. I'm just a beer drinker in general, and that's what I want to do. So I'm trying to keep this under 10 minutes so I don't rattle on too much. But malt liquor, label out. But anyway, so I'm John, Zoneone Beer Club. Just always remember, guys, label out. Thank you.